Today, I want to talk about what actually happens at a body sex retreat. So, we're going to talk about each one of the rituals that happens that we do in body sex retreats. And they can be the retreats can be either 1 day or 2 days, just kind of depends on what um, you know, for me, what my schedule will allow. Um, so In a body sex retreat, we move through a set of practices and rituals. And these practices and rituals are a big ask for a lot of us. They're, um, it's a really vulnerable retreat. It's very easy. Everything is very accessible. It's very easy. You can come in with absolutely no experience and just know that you need to show up and participate. Uh, and you can also people come in with a lot of fear sometimes just because the work is so vulnerable. So let's pick apart each one of the rituals. And we start with two questions. Two questions. How do I feel about my body? How do I feel about my orgasm? And we go around and we answer those questions. And everybody answers. The facilitator starts. The facilitator actually starts and does every single ritual first, which is like unique to other things, right? So I'm participating the whole I think I forgot to say this, sorry. The whole retreats are done in the nude. So everybody's naked. Um so we start with the two questions. How do I feel about my body? How do I feel about my orgasm? And I will say that initially, when we arrive, we take off our clothes and we go like, oh God, like this is way outside of our comfort zone for many of us. For some of us, it's not so much. Like if you're not particularly modest, the nudity thing might not be the thing that gets you. If you are modest, that can feel really big. And I will say, every body sex retreat that I've been in, after, I don't know, 3.5 seconds, it feels totally natural. Like you start out being like, I don't know, am I gonna take my, and then you're naked and you're like, why haven't I been doing this my whole life? So starts out feeling really wild and then quickly becomes so natural and so normal. All right. After those two questions, how do I feel about my body? How do I feel about my orgasm? We go to genital show and tell. And this is, I have made another video about this, but this is the ritual that is kind of the like point out from after which nothing is the same, which is kind of surprising. It's a surprising thing to notice to me because it's so close to the beginning of the retreat. Um, so we do genital show and tell, and I, as the facilitator, go first, and then each participant goes, and we give each other a tour of our pleasure anatomy. After genital show and tell, the whole room is different. And again, I've talked about this, but the whole day after that is like the energy's completely shifted and we are then known to each other and we are known to ourselves. Some of us, this is like the deepest that we've ever physically looked at our physical body. So it's the deepest part of ourselves that we can show somebody else. Then we do some anatomy. We do all the sex ed and all the anatomy that we should have gotten that we didn't get. And we are going through anatomy anatomy and physiology for people with vulvas not compared against the body model of people with penises. Very important because a lot of us only have anatomy in relation to being compared to someone with a penis. And that's just it, they're different models, like I'm saying in every single video that I make. All right. After anatomy, we do vulva massage and we are in a circle. I lead the group through a vulva massage. And then after that, we do Betty's rock and roll technique. So, Betty Dodson, our beloved grandmother of masturbation and the founder of Bodysex, along with Carlin Ross, um, she noticed in her vast experience that when people with vulvas are combining clitoral stimulation with vaginal penetration, and there's a little more finessing in there that happens, but when we combine clitoral stimulation with vaginal penetration, magic happens, y'all. Magic, I tell you. So we start to stimulate from the outside and from the inside our internal clitoris, and we explore that. Then the wheels come off and we do erotic recess. And I mean, the wheels come off in the most fabulous of ways. Everybody's just like open to uh their own techniques, their own desires. I typically provide barbells and magic wands for people to use. We put condoms over them, and the barbells are stainless steel so they can be boiled and sanitized. And people can bring, at least to my retreats, people can bring things that they like as well if they would prefer not to borrow mine. You can also purchase magic wands and barbells. Um, and I will put links below. I can't remember if the barbells are available still on Etsy. I think they are. Again, there was a while where they weren't available, but I think they're back. So erotic recess is essentially a circle jerk for people with vulvas. It's amazing. It's totally incredible. Betty did this with um, her communities, and Carlin and Laura do this with their communities. And those of us who are body sex facilitators get together and we're kind of spread out all over the world, but we do erotic recess together virtually, which is really beautiful. So everyone is in charge of their own body. Everyone is in charge of their own orgasm, but we get to be in the group setting and sharing that delicious orgasm energy. And it's amazing. It's totally amazing. This is also a little different than like exhibitionist voyeuristic stuff. It's not like the point isn't to watch other people or to expose yourself to other people. And I feel like this is such a fine distinction, and I'm not judging exhibitionism or voyeurism. I like both of those things, and they're both awesome, but the intention is just a little bit different. So this is like really focusing on your own pleasure, on your own body, exploring different techniques. So we go through during erotic recess, we go through different positions, we go through different techniques, we go through um, sometimes we start standing. So it's really super fun. It's so fun. My first body sex, excuse me, my first body sex retreat, I uh I was like, this is my literal, this is like my dream come true. Like I was elated. I was so happy. It felt so natural. I have another story for that for you about that in a moment, but I want to get to the very last ritual in the body sex retreat. So at the end, after we have explored our bodies, after we have seen each other's bodies, after we have masturbated and explored pleasure together, but separately, body doubling each other, parallel play masturbation with each other, we do what most people find to be their very mostest favorite part of the whole retreat, which is sensual, non-sexual massage. It's a group massage, and we go through so sensual, using the senses, using our bodies to massage whoever is getting massaged. Each person gets 5 minutes on the front, 5 minutes on the back. They can go through, I don't want my breasts touched, or I don't want my feet touched, or I'm really ticklish and I need you to push kind of hard on my skin. Otherwise, I'm going to be like agitated and giggly about it. And I don't want to do that. I don't want my head touched. People get to decide which parts of their bodies they want touched. And so it's not forced massage on anybody. We're also, one of the things that makes this so beautiful and so key is that women and people with vulvas have been trained sometimes from like the moment we have started developing as little kids, like we're starting to walk and we are being trained as people who serve others, as people who need to perform in order to deserve love, as people who are born and raised as subservient to others. So, allowing ourselves to be touched, we don't have to apologize for it. We don't have to perform for it. We don't have to make and ah sounds for it. We don't have to pretend that we're not faking orgasms. So we just get to enjoy and receive. And this, you guys, this is like the last body sex retreat that I attended was people were getting up and they were like everybody was all energized after erotic recess. And then they get up from massage and their hair is like and they're just like eyes totally like blissed out look in their eyes and just so grounded. And what I saw was that group massage after the whole body sex rituals helps us anchor the experience of body sex in our bodies. So it's that integration, it's that like, oh, coming back. It's slow, it's done in silence, and it's totally incredible. It's amazing. So, my story is a little bit of the origin story of how I became a body sex facilitator in the first place. So, one of the other things that I do is I'm a shamanic practitioner and an animist, and I'm in a 5-year training program that is not the topic of this of this video, but I'm in a 5-year training program that, for various and sundry reasons, has been extended for like 8 years because of the pandemic. So, way back in the ancient olden golden times of 2018, I started this program and I was getting guidance from my helping spirits to quote, study the sex practices. And I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what you're talking about. And so I started looking around and trying out different things, reading different books, taking different workshops, taking different online courses, and coming up against a lot of binary mistruths. And if you're interested, let me know and I'll make another video about that. I don't want to go too deep into that here, but coming up into, as a non-binary person myself, uh, a lot of talk about you're a woman, you're a receptacle, you're passive, you're yin, all these things that are not, it's not like those can't be true, but they're not just categorically true just because I happen to have a vulva. And so I was sifting through tons of information. Some of it's really good, some of it's really outdated, some of it's like I had to do so much contorting just to get myself to the information that was usable and resonant with me. And so then the pandemic happens, everything shuts down, and I was listening to a podcast. Was it Sex with Emily? I can't remember. I think it might have been Sex with Emily or Girl Boner Radio, which is both of those podcasts are really good if you haven't checked them out. And one of the body sex facilitators was being interviewed on this podcast, and Betty Dodson had just passed. She had just crossed over. And I went home and something like my insides were just like, oh my God, you have to check this out. So I went home and I looked up body sex. There happened to be a retreat in at Menla in upstate New York in the Catskills, which is this totally gorgeous crater and amazing facility. It's absolutely stunning. Um, and I went to a body sex retreat, and it was instantaneous that I felt like I had arrived home, that this was, the kick and a nudge that my helping spirits had been giving me. And I have never looked back, honey. I have been pursuing this and leaping off into all things body sex ever since. And yeah, and here we are today. Um, okay, so by the end of a body sex retreat, people are completely different from when they walked in. And it's not that we're not nervous, right? We are nervous. We just are like doing it anyways, right? We're just resolving and being warriors about it, and we're doing it anyways, and we're being brave, or as my niece says, bravey cats. We're just being bravey cats. And by the time we get to the end of the retreat, we are intimately connected. We have shared our orgasm and sex energy, and we have seen each other's bodies. Something that happens every single time is that we all have the thing about our body. We all have the thing where we're like, oh, if I wasn't so blah and this wasn't so that and blah 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 blah. All that stuff that disempowers us, that we're taught to hate about ourselves, we all come in with some version of that. And then we see each other naked, and it's like everyone's body is stunning. Everyone's body is stunningly gorgeous. And that's like, you know, really tall people, really curvy people, really tiny people, really, um, disproportioned people. I'm like one of those disproportioned people where my top is very small and my lower half is really curvy. And like everyone's body is stunning and beautiful. And we all see that in each other. In fact, we comment and we like it's like, wow, you're so, oh my God, you're so cute. Your cute little body is so beautiful. And everybody's cute little body is so beautiful. And I've been in circles. I'm speaking as someone who has been in circles with tens of people, and that's every single body. So that's like every size, every shape. It's absolutely incredible. It's so healing for our body shame too. Just the toxic shit that's like there that's not really ours that we can just let go of. So healing. Um, okay, I'm checking my notes here. Yep. All right. Well, that's everything that I have for you today. I hope this is informative and helpful for you. If you would like a video about what happens in virtual sessions, let me know and I will make one. Uh, yeah, virtual sessions, the one-on-one sessions that I do are slightly different just because it's virtual and it's just me and the client that I'm working with. Um, so we just changed a couple things. Let's see. I will link more information below for you, and I want to thank you so much for watching. All right, I'll see you next time.